Hi there, and welcome to another one of my video lessons. This is number 38 I'm doing with you guys. And I'm going to try and at least do two on this series of forgiveness because it's a very important topic, and surprisingly, I haven't talked about it. I looked through all my lessons, and the only time I really talked about it was for those of you who are on my friends list for a long time. I used to write Facebook lessons, and then I would just post them. And ever since that, I never really talked about it, which, this should have been one of my first ones, but now we're going to discuss it. So hope you enjoy. A biblical concept of forgiveness is we grieve and then we leave. We grieve the loss of expectation, the broken dream, the what will never be, what has come to an end. We grieve that loss, then leave that process behind. Most will say they know about forgiveness and God's forgiveness. In John 13, verse 17 says, "If you know these things, blessed are you if you do them." And now Mark 11, verse 25 says, "Wherever you stand praying, if you have anything against your brother, forgive him, that your Father in heaven may also forgive you." If you come to church and sing or carry your Bible, if you're engaged in a worship activity and you become aware you have something against someone, option A only in that very moment is to forgive them. Luke 6, verse 37 says, "Forgive and you'll be forgiven." Forgiveness is not the plan of salvation. It is the proof of salvation. The work is the proof of salvation. So in reality, what he's saying is forgiving people will be forgiven. Unforgiving people will be unforgiven. Forgiving people are saved people, and saved people will be saved. The Lord's Prayer says, "And forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us." So in today's, day, we always want God to forgive us, which is natural. Yet we can't even, look at our neighbor who did us wrong and forgive them. This is saying God will forgive us as we forgive those who trespass against us. See, we don't ever catch on to that because we always lip sync it in church, over and over. Like I used to say this because I went to a Catholic high school every day, So it's one of those things that you don't think about until you read it. God will forgive the way we forgive. So Matthew 18, verse 21, and he's talking to, and this is where Peter's talking to him. "And Peter came to him and said, 'Lord, how often should my brother sin against me that I should forgive him? Up to 7 times? And Jesus said to him, 'Do not say up to 7 times, but 70 times 7. So back then, the Pharisees said roughly around 3 times. So Peter was trying to impress Jesus, saying 7 times. He was doubling it and then adding 1. And Jesus isn't saying up to 490, or no, actually it was 490, and then you're done with that person. He's saying there is not a limit on forgiveness. And if you're following in your Bible, I'm jumping to verse 25 of Matthew verse 18. But as he was not able to pay, his master commanded that he be sold, with his wife and children, and all that be, and the payment be made. He could not pay, it says. Many people have done many things to you and people you love, and they could not pay. There is no possible way they can pay the damage that has been done. What has been done cannot be fixed without God's grace. Very seldom, if ever, the person who has sinned against you rightly calculates what they owe. Don't look at that and don't expect that. The person who needs to be forgiven seldom, if ever, properly calculates what they owe to you. Lost my spot. The person who needs what they owe to you, including you and me, which means we need to calculate that too, lest we spend the whole time thinking we are only the injured and never inflict injury on anyone. None of us rightly estimates the impact of our failures and shortcomings on others. That is this lesson. I plan on doing more, and part 2 is going to be more about unforgiveness. And I hope you guys really enjoy it. It's going to be a really impactful lesson series about forgiveness, unforgiveness, and I really wanted to speak to you guys about how it's important in life. I'm not saying I'm perfect, so, don't think that, I'm all perfect. I suffer in it too, just like everybody else. So, I hope this is going to be one of the best ones. So, God bless.